I don't think he's like super antithetical to everything that Francis stood for, but I will say it's hard for me to expect anything positive from an American, you know? All right, first Americano Pope elect, let's take a look.
Annuncio vobis
I announce
gaudium
to you
magnum.
a great joy.
Habemus papam.
We have a pope.
Eminentissimum.
The most eminent
Ac reverendissimum
and a
Dominum.
reverend
Dominum Robertum Franciscum.
Robert
Sancte Romane
Francis,
Ecclesiae.
Cardinal of the Holy
Cardinale
Roman
The first
Church,
American Pope has been elected. Cardinal Prevost.
Qui sibi nomen in
Not to be that guy, but Pope Francis was also American. Was the first Yankee American, like as in from the United States of America.
posuit
Who has chosen the
Leonem
name?
decimum
Well, Cardinal
quartum.
Prevost, the
Leo
first
the 14th.
American Pope in history,
First American
Chicago-born, has been elected as the 267th successor of St. Peter. Cardinal Prevost was the leader of the Vatican's office for the dicastery of bishops, the Vatican's dicastery for bishops. He is someone who spent many years as bishop in
Look, see? You see this? It's going to be unbearable today.
Peru, as a missionary in Peru. He was Bishop of Chiclayo in Peru. He was the leader of the Augustinian order, which is a worldwide religious order. He is known as an experienced and wise leader who can bring together people from different points of view. I can see there Cardinal Supich from Chicago, who looks quite happy with the news. This is really an extraordinary moment.
This is an extraordinary moment, and of course, I sit here as an American. Whatever it would have been, I think you can't be but moved to tears. But this is stunning.
Leo the 14th.
Leo the 14th.
Now that's
is his
significant.
name.
Pope Leo the 13th, a pope of Catholic social teaching, of Catholic social doctrine, a pope who stood up for workers, a pope on the side of the poor. And Cardinal Prevost, Pope Leo the 14th, I should say, has chosen that name. That is a big statement. That is really an extraordinary moment. We all thought, people were thinking it was going to be an Italian.
Yes.
They thought they were the front runner. But as we said, as I reported, an American was not ruled out. They were looking at American.
And you were saying this was possible. It was only today when...
Big mistake. I think it's crazy. Yeah, 69. Nice. But I feel like we're cooked. It was cool when the Vatican was separated from America, you know? And now we put our grubby little hands in this too. His anti-gender ideology, he's a registered Republican. That's fake. I mean, I know he doesn't like J.D. Vance. He's written about J.D. Vance. I think he's a never-Trump Republican. The very fact that he was a Republican at all kind of sucks, though.
It moved as fast as it moved that everyone said, well, it must be an Italian. But let's just say this again. Cardinal Robert Prevost, now Pope Leo XIV, is an American, currently Cardinal from Chicago, and is now the first American Pope in history. Let's watch Leo XIV coming out. Let's watch.
It was not on the short list we looked at. They cooked us. How could they have done this to me? How could they have done this to me? How could they have done this to all of us? Terrible, terrible, terrible day. This Pope isn't woke, is he? I mean, he was chosen by Francis. Like, he was one of the people that Francis chose, but Francis sometimes would do, like, a little bit of centrism. He has some woke qualities, but he's nowhere near as woke as Francis. Francis was a socialist. This mother is an American. Okay. Now, I'm not giving party affiliation too much thought. I'm just saying he's American, and I think Americans are gross. Americans do not have a understanding of the world, but the only saving grace with this Pope is the fact that he lived in Peru, dual citizen, for years and years in his life. So maybe he has a better understanding of like the plight of the global South. And that's part of the reason why I think he might come across as more woke than some of the other choices. But like, the reality of the matter is, America-fying anything is going to be bad because Americans have a very limited understanding of the universe. God damn it. Fucking lights went out here. That's crazy. Chat, is this writing? You should be chanting, USA, USA, USA. We don't even deserve it. We, as Americans, don't deserve to be anywhere near the papacy. We are the worst Catholics on the planet. We abide by very few of the rules of Catholicism. Our Catholics, by and large, resemble Protestants, which is disgusting. Yuck. And now we got American Pope. I mean, his only saving grace is he's also Midwestern. He's at least from Chicago.
La pace sia con tutti voi.
Peace be with you all.
Fratelli, sorelle carissimi.
Dearest brothers and sisters,
Questo è il primo saluto del Cristo risorto.
this is the first
Il buon
greetings
pastore
of the
che ha dato
resurrected
la
Christ,
vita per il gregge di Dio.
the good shepherd who has given
Anch'io
up his
vorrei
life
che questo
for God.
saluto di
And
pace
I should also like
entrasse
this
nel
greeting
vostro
of
cuore,
peace
raggiungesse
to
le
enter our
vostre
hearts.
famiglie.
And
Wait a minute. Is this goddamn Pope Mexican? What the hell? Speak American, goddammit. You're from Chicago. Why in the hell is he speaking this Mexican language? Hold on now. Hold on now. This Pope better not try to come back to America. I'll deport his ass. I'll report him to INS so fast his head will spin, brother. Yee.
and your families, and to all those people, wherever they are, all peoples, throughout the world.
sia con voi.
Peace be with you.
Questa è la pace di Cristo risorto.
This is the
Una
peace of the
pace
resurrected Christ,
disarmata, una pace disarmante, umile e
a
perseverante.
humble and perseverant peace which comes from God, God who loves us all
Incondizionalmente.
unconditionally.
Ancora conserviamo nei nostri orecchi
Let
quella
us
voce debole,
keep
ma
in our
sempre
ears
coraggiosa di
the
Papa Francesco,
weak voice
che benediva
of
Roma.
Pope Francis that blesses Rome.
Il Papa
Chatters keep asking if we got an woke pope. No, he's a more of a, I guess, uniting figure. A little bit of a centrist pope. A little bit for the, woke guys, and a little bit for the broke guys. You know, as far as I've read, Pope Grave, which was established specifically for this, says. Pope Grave's opinion is that Robert Provost was elected because he's an American who can stand against Trump and wield American influence in the face of rising fascism. Our new Our new Pope has spoken against Western leniency towards LGBTQ plus individuals and against gender ideology in Peru. He was accused of mishandling assault investigations against priests in his diocese. As a lesbian Catholic, I'm disappointed, but I'm here to remind... The internet was a mistake, man. Why is this your source? It's not. I mean, I think it's funny. I never realized how much your Soundgate save does. You should go back to realizing it and acting like it is saving us. Okay? What are these ads, man? We'll go through the issues in depth. I just wanted to give a shout out to Pope Crave because I find it pretty crazy that it exists. Like they made a pop crave, but for the girly pops that want to know about the Pope craze. Amazing.
che benediva Roma.
The Pope who blessed Rome gave his blessing to the world, to the entire world, that morning of Easter. Allow me to follow up on that blessing. God loves us. God loves everyone. Evil will not prevail. We are all in the hands of God. Therefore, without fear, united, hand in hand with God and amongst ourselves, let us go forward. We are the disciples of Christ. Christ goes before us. The world needs his light. Humanity needs him like the bridge to God and his love. Help us and all others to build bridges with dialogue, with meeting, to be one common people, living always in peace. Thank you to Pope Francis.
I'm disappointed. I really wanted Tag Lee. I really wanted Pinoy Gang. I was actually stoked for Pinoy Gang to rise up. For all my Swagapinos out there, I'm with you. I see you. I hear you.
I should also like to thank all my cardinal brethren who have chosen me to be the successor of Peter and to walk with you as a united church, always seeking peace and justice, seeking to work with men and women who are faithful to Jesus Christ, without fear, to proclaim the gospel, to be missionaries.
Sono un figlio di Sant'Agostino.
I am a son of St. Augustine, Augustinian.
Che ha detto,
Augustine who said,
con voi sono cristiano e per
with
voi
you I am a
vescovo.
Christian,
In
and
questo
for you
senso
a
possiamo
bishop.
tutti
And I think in that sense we can all walk
verso
together
quella patria
to that
la quale
homeland,
Dio ci ha preparato.
that home which God has prepared for us.
Alla Chiesa
To the Church
di Roma, un
of
saluto
Rome,
speciale.
a very special greeting.
Dobbiamo cercare insieme come essere una Chiesa missionaria.
We have to seek.
I'm sorry, dude. This is like some forces should not be disturbed. Like, for example, if America started competing in Eurovision and won, that would be a disturbing event. It's like that's supposed to be your thing, not our thing, you know? So something about this doesn't feel right. We already sent Israel into Eurovision as our envoys to ruin the whole thing. But this is basically like direct intervention. It's like if America won the UEFA or something, you know what I mean? Like that's not supposed to happen.
Together to be a missionary church, a church that builds bridges and dialogue, always ready to accept, like this great piazza with its arms. We have to show our charity, presence, and be in dialogue with love. And I'd also like to say a greeting in Spanish to all those who, particularly to my dearest beloved diocese in Peru, where a faithful people accompanied their bishop to share their faith with him, and who has done so much to be a faithful church. To all you, brothers and sisters of Rome, of Italy, of the entire world, we must be a synodal church, one which goes forward and which always seeks peace, charity, and to be close to those who suffer. Today,
il giorno della supplica alla Madonna di Pompei.
This is the day of the supplication to the Madonna of Pompeii. Our Mother Mary always wanted to accompany us and be near us, to help us with her love. And I should like to, therefore...
America really be thrusting their and balls into every crevice of the world? I know. No, this just feels weird, man. It feels wrong. I mean, I know this guy has a focus in the global south. This is a big market for Catholicism. It's like, you know, it's important. It's an important emerging market for Catholicism at a time when like most of the developed world has moved past Catholicism in general. So they have to be pro global south. But the fact that he's American is just like irredeemable in my eyes. Am I an America hater? Is that what it is? Do I just like despise my own country and my own countrymen? Is that like, am I an anti-American racist? I feel like it's not. I feel like it's warranted to feel this way. Luce la bubu collab when the Pope drop the merch. Oh, we want a la bubu. And we wanted the Pope to be a la bubu Pope. The Pope will be from Chicago. Sounds like a 1880s Republicans dire prediction for if we don't stop Irish immigration. Do they mean the first U.S. Pope? The last one was American? Yes. That, for the record, that right there, that interpretation right there is unironically part of the reason why I'm like, ugh, Americans, we're involved in this too now. Like, yeah, the last Pope was also technically American, But this one is from the United States of America. So now everyone's saying this is the first American Pope. First American Pope. No, the last one, I think, was the first American Pope, actually. This is the first North American Pope. But that distinction in and of itself is yet another representation of American hegemony, American power, and how we operate around the world. Don't worry, Felix Gauzy, you're back. Oh, yeah, I saw his tweet. He said, we cannot have a pope that attended University of Chicago. He didn't, by the way. Stop the steal now. We need to the Vatican and find the real ballast. They cannot stop us all. False alarm. I was misinformed. I apologize to anyone who died storming the Vatican and all the Swiss guards. Pope, but he's perfect. This was great, too. We have come to a decision, Mr. Biederman. It releases the smoke. And then he vapes it out. Does anyone have that vid from a Assange stream where it's Felix blowing smoke from the Twin Towers?
Responsible for violating the Leahy Act? What do you mean? They should put Joe Biden under...
Anyways.
Yeah, he was just blowing smoke.
He loved that.
Do you think Trump will be held responsible for violating the Leahy Act? What do you mean? They should put Joe Biden under the prison for violating that then. Like...
He's everywhere somehow. When is my king coming back on the broadcast? Brother, your king's in New York and I am in France.
Pray together with you. Let us pray for this new mission, for the entire church and for...
Favorite part from yesterday's stream?
Also, once again, chatters, you think she was like, oh yeah, is that Rosa Parks right next to my... Sign me right... No, she's like,
talk
okay.
about Blackpink.
Yo. Yo, Christian. Yo, Christian. Oh my. Christian, bro. Oh. Oh, no.
Lisa fans are mad at you. I love Lisa. Fandoms need to know I'm a Lisa girly. That gagged you. It was diabolical. It was also bars. Like what? It's such a good joke. No one should be mad at that. Because if the joke is good, then it's appropriate. Everybody knows, okay? K-pop Twitter found this clip. Uh-oh.
For peace in the world. And let us ask for this special grace from Mary, our God.
Ave Maria, piena di grazia.
Hail Mary, full of grace.
Tu sei benedetta fra le donne, e benedetto
Amen.
il frutto del
You are
tuo
blessed
seno,
amongst all women, and blessed be the fruit of your womb.
Madre di Dio, prega per noi peccatori.
Holy Mary,
Adesso
pray for
nell'ora
us sinners,
della nostra morte.
and be present at the hour of our death. Amen.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm so tapped out of like all this religion stuff. Like it's exciting to watch from afar because like Catholicism's crazy with it, with all the bells and whistles. But I will, perhaps I should not say this, but I do sometimes see people that are very religious and I think like, I don't know how we live on the same planet is like in the same plane of existence. Much respect to people. This is not disrespectful at all. I always say, like, people believe in crazy than well-established, organized religion, at least that's been a domineering force on the planet in terms of, like, creating some semblance of social structure. But I cannot understand that. Like, it just doesn't, it does not fit in my brain. I feel like there's something so wrong with me. Maybe there's something wrong with me. But I see people that are, like, praying, and I'm like, that's... Like I've thought about this statement, you know, everyone finds God in the trenches or whatever, you know, in a manhole. What's the saying? It's like a fake saying about war. In a foxhole, is that what it is? Everyone finds God in a foxhole. And it's like there have been so many moments in my life where I was like, shit is really up, and there's never been a moment where I was like, I hope there's a higher power that'll fix it. And I don't know what it is. I wish no atheist in a foxhole is the statement. Yeah, you know, a religious person made that statement because I feel like atheists are so goddamn annoying. They'd be in the foxhole being like, oh my science save me. That's what they be saying in the foxhole. Only religious think like, oh, there's an atheist in the other foxhole. I bet he's praying to God right now. No, he's not. He's being annoying. He's telling the enemy combatant about how God isn't real, and you're stupid for believing in it. Okay? Yeah. He dug the foxhole, and he was thinking about science the whole time. He's like, oh, my ration. Oh, my logic. That's what he's doing in the foxhole. Being annoying. Yeah, gun to his head. They're probably thinking, I'm about to be proven right. They're thinking in their last moment, I bet the other guy that they just executed who was religious thought that I was praying to God, but he was wrong. Boom. I'm not praying to God. What now? Boom. He put that fit on, bro. He put shit on. He put that on. We're back, by the way. We're back to crazy, lavish Pope, by the way. Classic American, lavish-ass Pope. Look at Francis. Francis came out in a deliberate choice in this garb. And he always presented himself like this, deliberately. He was unironically also the annoying type of socialist that's like, you claim to be a socialist, yet you don't live in a box. Francis was like, nah, I'm a socialist and I'm living in a box. Like he was that kind of dude. He literally, he's like, yeah, put me in a wooden coffin. I don't want nothing else. What's wrong with you, dude? You could have maybe entertained the Vatican jet a little bit, you know? That's because he's Catholic, not socialist, though. No, dude, are you kidding me? Really? Catholicism and popes famously did not live lavish experiences. Are you insane? We're talking about the Catholic Church. No, it was because he was. Chatter is right. I mean, look, there are obviously some popes who lived by the sword like that, but I feel like when I think about the broader history of the Catholic Church, an ascetic lifestyle does not come to mind at first. Okay? And yes, this is another thing that I say all the time, which is like religion in general is teaching you a whole bunch of, by force, teaching you a whole bunch of like, be nice to other people, sharing is caring, values like that would be mostly attributed to socialism and certainly not to capitalism. But many people have not followed those rules, even aesthetically follow those rules as far as Pope Francis did. Prior to capitalism, Catholicism in Europe has always been about dressing your status in society.
So it's been an afternoon and evening of high drama here at St. Peter's at the Vatican in Rome. At about 5:10.
I love Channel 4 because they bring the exact same intensity to every single thing that they're covering. They could be covering the new Pope. They could be covering like Israel bombing Lebanon. Or they could be covering the Westminster Dog Show, and it's always like, we're out here in the Westminster Dog Show, and it's absolutely electric. Things are going completely out of control. Somehow UNRWA is also involved in the process. Israel has blocked UNRWA's participation in the Westminster Dog Show. Back to the studio. And then you got the brown dude grilling like the Westminster Dog Show jury being like, well, why did you say that UNRWA is Hamas and the participation was barred? And then the Israeli envoy's like, it's because the dogs that UNRWA wanted to bring were Hamas dogs. We found out, which is why we killed them. We killed the dogs on the way to the Westminster Dog Show. It is anti-Semitic.
Difficult time. We had the announcement that there was going to be a pope, the white smoke. Then an hour later, we had the name of the pope himself, Pope Leo XIV. His name in normal civilian life is Robert Prevost. He is a cardinal from Chicago, 69 years old. He spent a lot of time in Latin America. He speaks fluent Spanish. And when he addressed the crowd today, he spoke in Italian with a slight American accent, then in very good Spanish, but he did not speak in English, even though he is the first pope to come from North America in the papacy's 2,000-year history. He offered a message of...
Bro, you can't have a pope named Bob, dude. Big L for Catholicism. Hey, what's up? I'm Pope Bob. And he's from Chicago. Of course he's not going to speak English, man. It just bricks the immersion. Thousands of years of history just thrown in the toilet. We had to put our stink on this too. We couldn't let this be. We could not leave this alone. We had to ruin this too.
Peace and of humility, and the atmosphere here in the square was just incredible. Let me show you how the afternoon of high drama, theatre and faith unfolded here at the Vatican. Perhaps they knew something. At just after 6 Rome time, the conclave delivered.
Is he talking about the birds?
White smoke. They were oblivious, but the square below erupted. Joy in a... It took just a day and a half to find a new pope who will now lead the world's 1.4 billion Catholics. Many had thought it might take because of divisions in the church. So the Pope was elected on the 4th ballot, and the bells are now ringing. The smoke is still hanging in the beautiful afternoon air, and of course we're now waiting to hear who it actually is. They will be able to declare, Habemus Papa, we have a Pope.
It's unbelievable. I'm from Boston.
You're from Boston?
Just came in today.
How do you feel?
It's very good. Very, very.
You're from France?
Yes, of course.
You think it might be the French cardinal?
I don't know. We wait. Yes.
It's very emotional to be here. Today's my birthday. So for me to experience a moment like this, it's just wonderful.
Who do you think it'll be?
The Asian, I guess.
Tadej?
Yeah.
Filipino?
The Asian. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. The Asian one. That's me. That was my level of interest in the whole Pope game. Americans were chanting USA, USA. Oh, we're so dude. Driving down the beautiful windy roads of Paris earlier before I got on this broadcast, I was thinking like Americans unironically would look at this city and be like, yeah, this place is actually poorer. This place is actually poorer and worse than my random American suburb. And we're so backwards. We're just like incredibly backwards people. We are the barbarians.
The Filipino.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
That's what you want?
I think so. Yes, absolutely. And I hope it goes with the line with supporting the poor, like the Pope.
Yeah, like
and,
Francis. Yeah.
Yes, Francis. Yes, and to do the same line.
Let's see if you're right.
Yes, let's
Maybe
see.
you are.
I think it is. It's just like it should be automatically disqualifying. Call me a purist, but it should be automatically disqualifying to let a pope know what deep dish pizza is. Okay, like if you've ever had Portillo's, you should not be allowed to be the Pope. Like the Cardinals really did not consider that. They weren't like, Mamma mia, has this Cardinal, has he ever had a deep dish of pizza? That would have, if that question was presented at any point in the conclave or whatever the conference is called, it's called conclave, right? My brain is not working. Okay, like then. That should have stopped this process dead in its tracks.
Maybe you're not right. Who knows?
No, but God select him, whoever it is, and we will be happy.
¿Cómo se siente?
Nos sentimos llenos.
We are so full of the same Holy Spirit.
I will, by the way, be in Chicago after France. Instead of going home, I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to be speaking at University of Chicago. So I should probably really moderate my Chicago slander. I don't want the pro-Israeli protesters to join up arms with the pro-Chicago protesters. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a speech. I'm going to do a thing with Ested Hernan at University of Chicago. Yeah, this time instead of the 27,000 emails sent to USC to get me to stop from speaking there, we're going to have 37,000 emails sent to the University of Chicago from the Malort enjoyers, okay? From all of Chicago's finest.
It moved the cardinals to make up their minds so quickly, this Colombian priest told me. An hour after the white smoke, the curtains of the grand balcony of St. Peter's moved, and we had a name.
Cardinalem Prevost. Qui sibi nomen imposuit Leonem decimum quartum.
Pope Leo XIV, also known as Robert Prevost, born in Chicago, 69 years old. He spent much of his time doing pastoral work in Peru. He speaks fluent Spanish, and he's been in charge of appointing bishops here at the Vatican. But he is also the world's first North American Pope. In his first address, he spoke to the square, to the city, and to the world about the need for humility, and that he will try to speak to everyone, everywhere, against evil and for good. 2 Americans are now in key positions of leadership around the world, and one of them is called Trump. The next months and years should be interesting, perhaps even challenging.
By the way, American Catholics included, that spent the last 12 years shitting on the Pope and being like, the Pope's irrelevant, who gives a are now going to magically turn around, at least if like this Pope Leo, if he's even a little bit like pro-America or reactionary, all of those like who cares about the Pope guys are gonna be like, whoa, what do you mean? That's the Pope you're talking about. That's sacrilege. They were calling him an agent of Satan when he died. The previous all the people that were calling the previous Pope the agent of Satan are going to turn around and be like, well, we're a Catholic nation. You know how it is. Except I still suspect he's going to have a reactionary slant to a certain degree. He's not going to be like Francis, but maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I am. But he is a never Trump Republican, I think. So they're already calling him an agent of Satan.
La pace sia con tutti voi. Anch'io vorrei che questo saluto di pace.
I would like that this salute of peace enters in your heart and reaches all families, to all people on earth.
I just don't want to hear from an adult Catholic convert about this. You know what I mean? Whether it be J.D. Vance or all of those like Peter Thiel funded podcasters who are like, I have vocal fry and art history degree, but I also like saying slurs and I'm a Catholic now. Like I don't want to hear from them. I don't want to hear from them. I feel like they're going to be even more unbearable. They're going to be nuclear unbearable. Oh my God. Times Square is so back. Times Square is so back with this new Pope. You think the new Pope would go to Times Square?
May peace be with you.
Click this right now. We need the dramatic reading. Wait, Spike Lee posted about the new Pope and connected it back to his beloved Knicks. The Vatican voted in Robert Francis Prevost as their 267th pontiff. He is the first pope from the United States of America, born in Chicago, Illinois. And for my New York Knicks fans, his alma mater is Villanova University. Brunson, Hart, and Bridges won NCAA rings at Villanova. What a holy blessing. The Knicks are gonna win the 2024-2005 NBA World Championship. It's divinity. God bless. And that's the holy truth. Ruth, you dig? Chicago, the 7th borough. That's wild. Knicks got the heavens mandate. You heard it here first.
Extraordinary scenes here in the Square below. So what do we know about the new Pope, Leo XIV, a Chicago-born cardinal who spent most of his life outside the United States, including more than a decade in Peru. And by the way, President Trump has just posted on social media that he's delighted it's an American Pope and he hopes to meet him soon. Well, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Here's Harry Fawcett on Pope Leo XIV.
Just yesterday, Cardinal Robert Prevost entered conclave as a contender, but far from a front-runner for the papacy.
How the fuck did he win then?
Of course, this was never supposed to be a contest between men, rather a manifestation of God's will, guided by the Holy Spirit. Beneath Michelangelo's ceiling, behind the chapel's heavy door, his candidacy gathering momentum to make him Pope Leo XIV.
A tu servidor et Papa Francisco.
In his favour, Prevost had been seen as a potential compromise if the leading papabile, the possible popes, were failing to receive sufficient support. A reputation as a quiet, discreet, thoughtful listener, appealing, it seems, to a broad range of his fellow cardinals. But his nationality was seen to militate against him. The idea that a global church's spiritual leader would come from the world's temporal superpower was something that until now had seemed a bar to an American pope. Prevost, though, is a dual national with Peruvian as well as US citizenship. Born in Chicago, he spent many years of his career in Peru, first missionary, later archbishop.
What? Steve Bannon was the only one who knew about him? No.
I do think one of the dark horses, and I think, unfortunately, he's one of the most progressive, is Cardinal Prevost. I don't think he's getting enough play. He is certainly on the short list as being, and I think it's pretty shocking given how the contempt they hold the American church. The American church gives so much money, they're afraid it has too much power. So they've never really wanted to have an American pope. But my understanding is Prevost is one of the ones closest to Francis ideologically. He's also had tremendous experience in Latin America. And so he's one of the ones on the short list. I'm a big believer that Cardinal Sarah from Africa would be a perfect selection right now for this moment in the church. But I will tell everybody, this is anybody's game right now. Between Parolin, one of the traditionalists, you have no earthly idea how this is going to turn out. That's why I think this run-up is so important. And it's interesting that.
Dude, what? Okay, all right. Well, now I'm more convinced that it's the Antichrist. Now I feel like, no, Steve Bannon, knowing who you are is so bad. Urgent, the Chi-Town Pope just delivered his first address in English. All right, listen up, see? This new gig as the Pope is something else, you know? But don't get it twisted. I'm still going to root for the Bears every Sunday, no matter what kind of fancy hat I'm wearing. And if anyone tries to tell me deep dish ain't the best pizza, they can take it up with me after Mass. Kabish. Hashtag Pope Watch, says E.E. Cummies.
It's ironic. It's going to take place. It's going to kick off, I think, on the either the day of or the day before the 80th anniversary of victory in Europe. So it's...
Bro, he even nailed the fucking timing. Dude, what the Bro, he got it right. Why did he get everything right? I hate that. That's so scary to me. What does he know? No. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Was he there? Did he don the suit? Did he just like sneak in there? Not a ball knower? Bro, this is beyond knowing ball. What's that like Illuminati group? The Illuminati group that's like in the Vatican?
Against a Roman popery, prepare to receive the
Yeah, Opus Dei.
Very symbolic of what's coming together here in the first part of May.
It's not Opus Dei anymore. It's called Opus only because they eliminated DEI. Get it? Opus Dei or die, brother. I don't want none of that. It's not Opus Dei. It's Opus CIA.
Made a cardinal less than 2 years ago. He was supportive of Francis's attempts to integrate women into decision-making roles in the church, is believed to have similar views on the environment, on embracing the poor and migrants, and on reforms such as allowing divorced Catholics to receive communion. He's been less outspoken than his predecessor on LGBTQ issues and has spoken of the need to combat secular media narratives that paint Catholic ideology as unfeeling or cruel. An Augustinian from a more reserved, more intellectual tradition than his Jesuit predecessor, Pope Leo was more formal in his initial address.
I am a son of St. Augustine, who said, "I am a Christian with you and a bishop for you, and in this way we can all walk together."
Camminare insieme.
His choice of name, Leo, redolent of his 19th century predecessor, known as the Pope of the Workers. In that, there's continuity with Pope Francis, but he's also a precedent breaker, the first American pope, and at just 69, one who may lead the church for many years to come.
Harry Fawcett reporting. Well, joining me now here at St. Peter's is the Canadian writer and academic Randy Boyagoda, who's also a professor at the University of Toronto. He's written widely on Pope Francis and met him on 2 occasions. Randy, it's good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
So this is a big deal, right? First North American pope. Any pope is a big deal, but...
You said it exactly, Matt. Any pope is a big deal. Number 266 is a big deal, and this is the first pope from North America, from the United States more specifically. That's a major event.
And someone who Francis, bless him, would have been quite proud of, I would have thought, because he was very much appointed by Francis. He spoke the language of Pope Francis when he was on the balcony.
Yeah, very much so. Francis made him a cardinal 2 years ago only, so a relatively new cardinal.
Yeah.
And then during his time as a cardinal and as a bishop from Peru, then Robert Prevost was involved in a series of major initiatives at Pope Francis's invitation, including being responsible for the appointment of bishops all over the world. That's a major sign of support from the then Pope to the new Pope.
So he was also very much an insider here in Rome in the Curia, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Media making up shit as the continuation of Francis? No, I mean, Francis did put him there. It's not like, I don't think he was, I don't think he's like super antithetical to everything that Francis stood for. But I will say, it's hard for me to expect anything positive from an American, you know? So we'll see.
Very much so. You know, I think he's on 9 different dicasteries, and so in that sense, he is very well connected. But I think that the really
he knows the machinery.
He knows the machinery, and he knows the bishops. He knows the bishops all over the world because he was involved in assessing candidates to become bishops. That is a major feature of being kind of well-known and well-respected here in Rome.
I noticed that when he was on the balcony just half an hour ago or so, he cried a little bit.
Yes.
Are those tears normal when a pope is first appointed and announced?
You know that after the man accepts the role, he's taken to what's called the Room of Tears.
Yeah.
And it's meant to suggest the enormity, the loneliness at times of what's before him.
I feel like American Catholics are, I've said this already, American Catholics are Protestant coded, which is why I feel like this whole thing is like tarnished.
I imagine that was just a very human response, whether joy, pain, who knows, but I think just a very clear sense that this is a living, breathing, believing person now leading the church.
So there was so much talk about divisions within the church beforehand, conservatives versus reformers, the geographic divisions of the global church, and then they just took 4 ballots.
Yes, that's right.
What does that tell you?
Well, 2 things. One, you're absolutely right that a 24-hour conclave with such a diverse group of electors, most diverse in history, that tells you something. That tells you that college of cardinals wanted to consolidate around someone and make a statement quickly that this is a unified church.
Because they were worried about the splits becoming a schism, I guess.
Yeah, well, or just a few days suggests that there's something intractable on the inside, you know? But the other thing, and I think this is the genius of this election, not just an American, not just someone with Rome experience, not just someone from South America, but also someone who chose a name from 125 years earlier. That's also interesting.
And so we're in actually the building that belongs to the Augustinian order, and
right.
he's an Augustinian himself. And of course,
why do they never pick like a cool name? You know what I mean? Like, why do, like, you got all the names to choose from, and you got to go with like a previous pope name? Like, Leo's cool too, but I'm saying like Pope Rizzler, okay? Really boost the image of the Catholic Church. Show the rest of the world that you are keeping up with the times. Like, what's up, guys? I'm Pope Rizzler. Next pope is Pope Skibbity. Why do they never do that? Why do they always got to go with like? Why do they always got to adopt the names of previous popes?
You know, Pope Leo, the previous Pope Leo, was known for his own humility, or being the workers' pope. Tell us about the last Pope Leo.
Yeah, so Pope Leo XIII was one of the longest popes in history, and he was known actually for two major things. One was an encyclical called Rerum Novarum that affirmed workers' rights, that affirmed trade unions, that affirmed all these different mediating institutions between the state and the individual person.
Right, so he's very much trying to continue that tradition with that name. So President Trump has already tweeted, or whatever he does these days on social media, he's delighted it's an American pope. He wanted an American pope. At one stage, he put himself out as a possible pope.
Of course.
It's a bit of a joke, slightly off color. What's that conversation going to be like between Robert Prevost, now Leo XIV, and President Donald J. Trump?
Well, you know, I think the significant insight would be that then Bishop Prevost was in Peru during a time of incredible instability in terms of a series of presidents of Peru that kept falling and rising. And people in Peru looked to the bishops as a source of stability in a time of chaos. You see where I'm going with this?
I know where you're going.
Right?
Okay.
And so I think that's what we'll see here.
All right. Randy Boygood, a professor from Toronto, thank you very much indeed for coming on the program.
Okay. I'm sorry. This is the most demonic shit I've ever seen. No disrespect. Sorry for coming off like I'm a heretic. But this literally is the scariest. This is the 1810 earliest born person ever captured on film, Pope Leo. Oh, come on, bro. Really looks like a Bloodborne villain, dude. That's wild. What? This is some straight Bloodborne. This is an AI slop? No, this is... no, they upscaled it. But the footage, I assume, is the earliest footage ever captured of the... Is the earliest born person ever captured on film.